welcome to a new video. Today we're outside. It's so beautiful because we have the sunset right now. As I mentioned in my first video, I wanted to talk more about my travels before I moved to Canada. I think it's kind of long when I do everything in one video, so we start with Cuba today. When I was in Hamburg, I was already planning to go to Cuba. It was always like my kind of dream. I was so interested in Cuba, so I was like, okay, I don't want to do that vacation thing, go in a week or two, something like that. I would just wanted to dive into the country. Like, just said to myself, hey, you can go for a whole month. That's what I did actually. And it was really tough, I would say, because it was COVID still, and like COVID affected Cuba a lot. That was not that easy actually, because like COVID restrictions were there. It was kind of hard to book stays because you can't use like American websites, for example, like PayPal, like YouTube. Everything is blocked like that. You can't book something in Airbnb, but you can do a reservation like that. So I found like it's like called a casa particulares. It's like a house what you share, usually with families, you know, because at this time there was no fucking tourists at all. So I was the only one, I swear. And I went to Varadero, it's like kind of in the north of Cuba. Paradise place, you know. So like you have beautiful beaches there. What kind of safe actually? So I was like, okay, is Cuba that safe? And I can really say that Cuba is totally safe. Everything is kind of protected. Yeah, I was arriving in Varadero, like there was really the time for myself. I actually learned Spanish before, so my Spanish was not that bad, but also like horrible. Oh my gosh, crazy. I couldn't talk because I was also too nervous sometimes, and like the Cuban accent is a bit different. I met some nice families there actually, so they trying to help me to speak Spanish, and they offer you breakfast with your stay. So it's really nice actually. Everybody who has the chance to go to Cuba, do that, like dive into the culture, talk with those people. It's really nice actually. And they explain me a lot about Cuba, the culture, the food, everything. I don't want to rush my Spanish completely crazy and like learn the whole day. I was like, hey, those conversations I have with people there, with the locals, then I'm gonna pick up my vocabularies and like build it up day by day. And actually that worked pretty good. You should like practice things slowly, I would say. Don't rush things, you know. The funny thing was like there was like a Wi-Fi park because they don't have internet there. Like since 2018 they have like Wi-Fi, and it's kind of funny because those people go in those parks have like connection. So once a day I went to those parks, or like a park nearby, and then you get like a little card. Alright, welcome back. My battery died and now it's dark outside, so we're filming inside now. I stopped with the Wi-Fi situation. I was like sitting there having some Wi-Fi, texting my family and friends and things, you know. I met actually like a cool dude in the park. He was from Germany as well. He was also traveling, and then we just chatted a little bit. Actually, at this time, I had no plans at all. I just knew I wanted to go to Havana because it was like kind of near, and it was, I mean, when you're in Cuba, you go in Havana for sure. And like, he did the same like just for a month. So we actually like linked together, and then we went to Havana like a couple of days after. As much as I love Cuba and it was like really nice, but I was really shook. I was not expecting that actually, because on postcards, on Instagram, you see the most beautiful side of Havana. If you go there, you're gonna see what's happening, and you're gonna see also like how's the situation with Cuba. I can say I really learned a lot about Cuba in this time, especially in Havana. And it's also like kind of tricky. You're walking around in the streets, and like those locals, they try like to sell you everything. I mean, it's kind of their job, you know, like Cuba is existing because of tourists, and like if we would not spend our money there, like as tourists, the situation would be really bad. Like the story is too long for that. You really understand when you go there what you have in life, I swear. I just have like a good experience actually. Everybody is nice, but like When you're in the city center, it can be really bothering. But yeah, so we didn't spend a lot of time there. It was like loud, it was like messed up a little bit. Like I was not like used to that. You don't have a lot actually. They have like supermarkets from the government and they have private supermarkets. Situation there with the supermarkets is also like kind of sad, I would say. Like there's nothing inside. You can buy rice, you can buy noodles, like spaghetti. Barilla, yeah, Barilla. And you can buy a Havana Club for sure, of course. And that's pretty much it. I went to a supermarket, I just wanted to buy some groceries, I was shook. There was nothing. I was like, okay, where do I grab food? That's not a problem. You can go to restaurants and things, but like it opens up your eyes a little bit. You can't go just like to buy some chocolate or something. Everybody knows like how packed and stocked supermarkets can be. Not there. The good thing was also like you kind of learn to use what you have a little bit like that. Even as tourists, you have to buy those kind of things to have. So Havana, it's not my favorite to be honest. Also not like a real city type. I can spend like a certain time in the cities, like a couple of days, and then I'm tired of the city. It's too much, it's too hectic. Yeah, we made another plan actually. So we were looking for a nice, cool place. Since a couple years, I got really attached of like horse riding, cowboy lifestyle, a little bit like that. Like more a countryside vibe. I want to see the Cuban nature. That's why Cuba is also really famous for. You can't imagine like how pretty it can be. We found a place called Vinales, and it's in the outback, like kind of in the west of Cuba, and it's insane. So pretty. It's a scenery itself, I would say. It's like
she ain't a bartender, but she sold more drinks than she knows. Shouldn't be surprised that she's gone. She's like a walking country song. Everybody told me she'd leave my heart broken, and I tried to prove them wrong. Should've known better all along.
Country vibe. There are mountains everywhere. Like I was really impressed. There's like a little town, and like the rest is like completely nature. Most tourists go there actually. I'm also like a type of traveler. I don't like those things you see on Instagram where everybody goes. We walked around, we had like an Airbnb. We couldn't book the place, but we can get in contact with the host. And then we paid cash actually. But like the cash situation is another thing. Have a lot of cash in Cuba, that's important. Unless you can't pay by card. So you have to use cash. And we were walking around a little bit. Vinales is so quiet, so we really had like problems to find water actually. And there was like a small, like a cafe, and they sold like big gallons of water. I like to grab the water and always walk back. It was like a long way actually. Like we walked like 30 minutes to the kiosk or like cafe, and then 30 minutes back because you can't drink the tap water. Never drink the tap water in Central America. We passed kind of a farm, and like we were like, hey, why shouldn't we like just ask if they offer like horse riding tours? And now it's my favorite part of Cuba. Because it was like a local farm, family owned. It was a guy who owned like a couple horses, and he was so cool, so nice. Like I always prefer like supporting small businesses. You can get such a nice experience. Like most of the time, it's not packed with tourists, you know, and you can just like have a private tour kind of like that. And yeah, that's the story where the story begins actually, like my favorite part. He had some time actually, and he offered us like to go like 3 days in the outback. 3 days with horses. We're so impressed about the price, but like that's the thing. Like euro and like US dollars and like Canadian dollars, like those are all strong currencies. Comparing to that, you pay like nothing. I don't remember what we paid, but it was not a lot for 3 days. There was like full coverage, like food, But that's the thing. I kind of jumped into the story now. So like, we set a date for the next day. So we were kind of early, like 7 a.m., something like that. He said like, we have to start early because it's the best time. Got to know the horses, and that's actually a good thing because you can see really like a quality farm when they're not like, put you on a horse and let's go. It's like, hey, get to know the animals. That's what we did, and we started our tour. So we went in the outback. He explained a lot of things. So we were visiting like a couple of cigar farms, and that's the thing. We were the only tourists there. No one was there. Really nice. Like it was like a private tour. Our first stop was like a smaller farm again. So we were riding the horses about like 2 hours or 3 hours, something like that. It was really in the outback already, so no cars. And that's the thing, like in Vinales, for example, in the outback, they don't have anything. They don't have tractors. They use animals, and that was impressive. They do everything by hand. So like even these cigar farms. So I have a really nice video actually, and I asked the guy if I can post it.
The leaf at the top is the strong leaf, because it's more close. To make the strong cigar, you take one half in the top, one in the middle, and one more closest.
Okay.
This leaf, the government take for make the cigarettes, not the cigar. The cigar is only the big leaf. We can take only the big leaf.
This is a truck.
This is the. You have to take the leaf here, and you put the leaf for dry in the small.
Okay, they're the dried ones, yeah?
Yeah, and you have to dry here. We dry here for 3 months. 3 months because it's organic.
Yeah.
No put nothing, no chemical, because it's dry only. From the center vein, I made the pesticide, organic pesticide. In the center vein, I put in the big resin in the water for 2 months, and after we have put the pesticide. This is the seed. It's impossible to plant one by one because it's very, very small. This cigar now is impossible smoking because wet. Vapor and soak. After 1 day, the cigar is dry. It's not for conservation of the cigar, it's for dry the cigar. Cut in pigtail from the same leaf. After we come to smoke it, take the cigar, we cut in here. Honey, because the honey is the natural filter.
Yeah, we stopped at the farm. There was a family actually who made us some good food. We had some chicken and like some rice, like kind of Cuban style. Also like showed us quickly the coffee bean field. I was impressed how white coffee beans are actually when they're not roasted. We also tried some rum for sure. Yeah, so with our rum in the belly, some good food in the belly, we went on our horses and like, I don't remember, it was like a movie, I swear. It was also like kind of, it was really hard actually to be on the horse all the time. So we went to a couple caves. They were like actually hours apart from the next farm where we were sleeping. We were riding through the night and it was crazy. It was.
She ain't a bartender, but she sold more drinks than she knows. Shouldn't be surprised that she's gone. She's like a walking country song. Everybody told me she'd leave my heart broken, and I tried to prove them wrong. Should've known better all along. She'd leave me for.
We learned a lot about Cuba, like all these caves, so deep that no one actually visited certain parts of these caves. Yeah, it's very dangerous actually if you go there by yourself, because if you go there and get lost, I don't want to know what's happening there. But yeah, so we kind of stopped everywhere a little bit. So this guy knew, it's like a community, you know, so like they know everybody around, and oh my god, I'm so into those stories, like I can talk forever. Yeah, so we made a couple stops, and that's the cool thing. You just pull up with your horses there. I'm like, hey, what's up? Because they can communicate. You can like text your buddy, hey, I'm coming around like with 2 tourists and crash at your place, you know? It's not possible. So you just show up actually, but like everybody's super nice. We had a place to sleep there. Really cool experience actually. Vinales. The cutest thing was also like actually there's kind of stuck in my mind, like street dogs and street cats, you know, like they can't take care of them. I really don't know if they don't have the capacity to feed them, something like that, but there was a puppy always walking around there, you know, so like, and we had like included breakfast on our Airbnb. We never ate the meat there, so we packed it up and always like brought it to the same place. And the cutest thing was like the dog was aware of that time when we pulled up actually to give him his food, support this little puppy over a couple of days, you know. But that's the situation, you know. It's not just in Cuba. Like kind of 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks passed actually. I didn't want to leave actually, but there was also not like more to explore. And like the impressive thing with Cuba is you always use taxis for sure. Taxi drivers earn a lot of money there. A taxi driver earns more than a doctor, that's what they said. That's crazy actually, because they're driving around the tourists and like they get the good currencies, you know. So like $20 to go from Vinales back to Havana. And at this point we split it up a little bit. He wanted to go to the east, I wanted to go to another place, so I went down to the south. Cuba's also like quite big. I wanted to see everything, but like it's too big. That's a cool thing. The cars are so classic and unique. I love cars. I love old vintage cars. To everyone who's like a fan of that too, you wouldn't regret go to Cuba actually. My car pulled up. It was an old Chevy van. So and that's the thing. So like the Chevy van took me like an hour or something like that, and we stopped at the parking lot, and there was another car waiting actually, and the taxi drivers or like the drivers there, they're gonna split it up a little bit, the route, because it's kind of getting too far. So they have like buddies they're working together with, and then you take the next cab. So I took the next cab. It was like kind of, you feel like kind of in a movie like that, because you're jumping from car to car. Yeah, the south was also like pretty chill. I had like always like places in casa particulares, like the shared houses, kind of on my own again. I did some flamingo tours actually. That was nice. Yeah, so like there was a tour, also private owned again. Like the guy was like coming with his private car, picked me up, saw some flamingos together. Super impressive. I was impressed how many flamingos there were. You can't imagine. I have also some pictures and videos. Actually, I came to the point, was a bit tired. It was okay. So like, yeah, I realized like, hey, a month is probably too long, you know. So, yeah, that was my short Cuba trip. What did I learn from Cuba? I think it's kind of interesting. I make some pros and cons. So I'll start with the pros. Pros, definitely, it's a place not a lot of people go. You're really in a country where you really can dive into the culture, because it's not overwhelmed from tourism, especially Havana. Second thing, I would say I improved my Spanish the best in this country, because I had no chance, like not a lot of people speak English there. I'm talking also more about around Havana, like outside of Havana, and it gave me the opportunity to learn and practice my Spanish. Third thing, it was definitely the nice way people treated me. It was really unique and special that people really are open to you and like share their story and things, and like really are interested like that you get to know everything there. The cons is definitely Havana. I don't know if it's really don't go a week to Havana, I would say, because it's too much. I forgot the minimalism actually. Like it was a good thing actually, because you're not overwhelmed and rushed. But like a cons is actually like, it's very hard. If always bring cash. Without cash you can't do anything. So that makes you like kind of dependent, and that creates problems sometimes, you know, because certain things, you know, you can't book online. You have to talk to people. You have to like go around, and I don't know, like it just makes things complicated, you know. I can recommend going to Cuba, but for me personally, like a month was too long. I didn't know what to do a whole month there. 2 weeks would have been perfect actually. Yeah, I hope you liked the video, and I gave you like a short conclusion about Cuba and traveling. It was also like more about my personal story. Hyped to produce some more videos for you guys. Yeah, also like make a bunch of videos about the States. I traveled a lot. I have a lot of recommendations and things, you know. Also like recommendations about like Central America. Talk about Vancouver and my move. So make sure to subscribe that channel to don't miss any videos. Give it a like, please, that the algorithm gets aware of that, and more people can see their content. I would say see you in the next video. Bye guys.